into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Keeping Up With the Kardashians After Show right here on AfterBuzz TV and AfterBuzzTV.com. We're live on Sunday night. It's 9:17 p.m. Pacific time, so if you're tuning in with us live, you can tweet us as we go. We'll give out our Twitter handles in a second. You can comment on YouTube as you watch this. You can also comment all week on YouTube. We check those. We reply to some of them if we like you or really hate you.
You know what? Wait, what my favorite part is when randomly people will tweet us that they're watching us on a big TV, like they're streaming us on their TV.
On a Saturday night.
Wasn't
that last night? We got a tweet last night, right?
From
Okay.
our Melvin fan.
That's awesome. I was like, if that's how you're spending your Saturday night,
With
okay.
us!
Yeah, not bad.
Dude,
I'm honored.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm Bobby, that's Sterling, and Frankie Nick is out tonight because of his dog.
Wow. Nick.
We're talking miscommunication. A couple nuts and bolts before we get into it. Hit subscribe on YouTube and iTunes if you haven't already. Review us, rate us, do all that good stuff on iTunes. You can do whatever you want on Twitter, YouTube, whatever. We'd love to hear from you if you're out there. At Bobby DeMuro, at Sterling Cates, at XOXOCESCA.
Can you spell mine out?
No.
I just never want to say it.
It's your name. If yours is your name, I can't spell it out.
Mine is half
sometimes
my name.
people think my name's Shirley Katz.
Well, that sounds like a branding problem on your part.
Shirley Katz.
Quick congratulations to Sterling. Speaking of cats, her Carolina Panthers are going to the Super Bowl.
We going to the ship. What? We going to the ship.
And we're talking miscommunication tonight. We're not even going to touch that.
Panthers, everyone.
Yeah,
Did
sure.
you say that?
Yes, I did.
Okay. That's important.
We're talking miscommunication tonight. I guess a lot to talk about. A lot of miscommunication. A lot of people on their phones. Where do you guys want to start?
Well, let's start with the beginning of the show.
Go right ahead. Frankie took copious notes, so you should lead this panel.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 lines.
Wow,
I'm surprised you can count that high.
Yeah, me too. Anyway.
No, I was going to say the very beginning, I love the little random things throughout the shows. Those are my favorite parts because sometimes those storylines are just kind of like,
yeah, like the housewarming storyline was a little
dumb.
Bit of a dud for me. Yeah. But as far as the phones go, I mean, that's totally understandable. We were all on our phones while we were watching
whole time. I mean, taking notes, but half the time whole time.
Yeah, and also you have to imagine, especially for Chris, she's managing all of their careers, so she's getting phone calls and emails and all that stuff. So, and I mean, I'm sure Chloe and all of them have business stuff happening too, but for me, it's a lot of social media and Instagram and Twitter and not necessarily business stuff.
And hiring a community or having hired, whatever you want to say, a communications expert to come in and be like, you need to be more present and you should pay attention more. And it's on one hand, if it's family members, I get it. If you're in a relationship with somebody who's always on their phone, you'd be like, hey, at some point we have to have eye contact.
Yeah.
But the other half of this is the moralizing that goes on with how people use technology. It's not actually my problem if you're on your phone the whole time. As long as I get what I need from our relationship. If you're going to spend your life on your phone, it's a shitty thing to tell you, oh, that's wrong, Yeah. It's
And it's also kind of sad, though, because you shouldn't have to pay all these big bucks to have someone come in and then just tell you to tell the other person what you like about them. I mean, we could do that right now. Francesca, I really appreciate your humor and your energy. And Bob's, I just love you.
Wow.
Isn't that nice?
Sterling, I appreciate your
better now.
I appreciate
How do
your
you guys
blunt
feel
honesty.
about yourself now?
But it's like, but just
We didn't even, damn it, Bobby.
my notes are on here. but the like just for me, the moralizing of like, I see it in sports. Like people talk about like sports fans, like how you'd be the right sports fan. It's the same idea. Like you can approach, whether it's sports or your phone or whatever else, approach it how you want to approach it. Like if you're not impacting other people. Now when it comes to raising a child, and like sure, there are certain things you cannot be on your phone for, like you shouldn't do that. But if it's just you, or if it's you and your sister and you're both hanging out on your phone, like who's to say that's a crappy, like it's your decision. I don't know. These are adults. They're, you know, if they're building bad habits, they'll pay for it later. It ain't your problem.
One of my things though is at like dinner tables or when you're out to eat or something, if people are just on their phone, that actually drives me crazy.
Well, that's courtesy.
Yeah.
Like if it were about that specifically, that's a different courtesy thing.
Yeah.
And maybe there is a little bit of that because Chris felt she was getting ignored or whatever. But like these girls have always been on their phones, and not for nothing, their phones are why they're famous. Like they're phenomenal at social media.
Right.
This is what they've been able, how they've ridden fame and how they've developed it and stuff. It's like, you know, it's kind of a catch-22 where it's like, don't be on your phone, but that's how we make all our money.
Yeah.
I just be on your phone at the appropriate time.
Right.
Because I kind of got also from this that maybe Chloe was not paying attention too much, so she like said okay to a whole bunch of things like maybe that her mom said, and so she ended up kind of overbooking herself at the same time.
But guess what? Then that is Chloe's problem.
That's her fault. Yeah.
And Chris's response should be, this is what happened. That's your problem. I'm not getting a communications person for you. You're 29 years old. Like, you can figure it out.
Well, even with the marble thing, she was like, I did ask you, or the equipment or whatever. She was like, I can't believe you're selling that, blah, blah. And she was like, I did ask you about it. So she was probably distracted with other things.
Can I just say how first world problems that part was? First of all, she's selling whatever she's selling because it's black and she wants light gray or vice versa. And the other is, I'll pay you $1 million for 10 slabs of marble. I mean, I know marble can get quite up there, but
Kanye can't have a different color marble, Francesca.
Jeez,
in his bathroom, that would be just
fewer people.
worst.
Fewer people than you think have access to enough cash where they could legitimately follow through on $1 million cash bet.
I don't know anyone.
You know? Well, obviously we don't, but I'm saying like even fewer rich people than you realize have access to multiple millions of cash, of liquid, where they can actually follow through on like $1 million. So for them to bet that, you're like, oh Lord.
First world problems.
Well, and of course that's never actually going to happen between Chris
Those
and
two.
Kim, though.
Anybody else, I would say, yeah, this is just for show. Those two
It might actually
for
do
a
it.
split second, I'm like, they might do this.
Yeah.
Like both of them are stubborn enough and both of them are competitive enough with each other because they always butt heads because they're so similar. I could definitely see both of them doing it.
Yeah. Well,
That's crazy.
It's
Sterling,
Kim's just like competitive enough to do that.
Here's the deal though. So Kim, she criticizes everyone. A lot of times it's warranted. I'm not saying it's not. But like you can't criticize everybody and bring the adult to the situation, and you're Kim and you're the moralizer, but then you're living with mom and you're bitching at mom because mom used your stuff because you're in her house. It's like, move out. Get a rental house. You can find any number of rental houses.
They could live literally anywhere.
What are you doing? You know, like you don't have as much room to walk on when you're Kim when you're living in mom's house.
Yeah.
And I understand like she took your stuff and you couldn't find it and you're gonna fight with it. Like I get it, but you got to be very careful how you approach that as what is she, 32 now, 33? Mm-hmm. Like you're not, if you're 18, if it were Kylie, it'd be one thing. If you're 18 and just moving out.
Or no.
Kim's,
34.
Courtney's 36, Kim's 34?
Yeah,
wow.
something like that.
Okay. But still, you're too old. You're too old and too successful to be like,
exactly.
oh, mom, get away from my stuff. Like, move out. Just move out.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
Seriously.
I've been out since the day I turned 18.
Bye. That's what you
Bye,
said.
Felicia.
Bye.
And by out, I mean they supported me while I was in college. But besides that.
Seriously.
Well, Kylie has her house, right? Her new little house. I like how, okay, would you guys get that Toto toilet?
That's weird.
That
it
was
also
like-
doesn't look cool.
I'm a boy, so I just need a hole in the ground.
True.
Like, let's
She's
be
like,
real.
this toilet is my dream.
I know, I was like, you really dream about that?
2016 is just really about realizing things.
So are
and
heated toilets, and like, do you need a heated
Dude,
toilet?
I would love it. That would be kind of
that
awesome.
would be, I don't need the thing to come out and clean
My butt.
No, that's like not necessary.
I'm literally never cold, like ever.
That must be nice.
Yeah, it is. Like, well, but it's also catch-22. I'm like, I skew hot. Then when it's hot, it's like really hot. But like, everybody, like girls especially, are always heated toilets and heated this and that, and I'm like, what's the difference?
I would love heat. Like,
What do you mean? What's the difference? It's heated. I love a heated seat or a heated blanket.
I would say
Those are the
heated
jam.
tiles.
Oh,
during the wintertime, that'd probably be really amazing. But
You're like, what is this world?
Just sounds like a lot of sweating.
For you, it might be.
You should move to like Alaska or something like that.
No, but I like that. That's the thing. That's the other weird thing. I like the hot. Like, I'd rather be in a hot place and be hot than be in a cold place and like not be cold.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder how many people are snowed in right now and listening to us.
Like a quarter of the country.
Cool. Hey guys,
If they still have the internet.
stay warm. I know, right?
I mean, it's from like what, West Virginia and
I'm
Pennsylvania.
actually like
on us.
kind of sad I missed the snow in situation.
Did it happen? It happened a little bit in the South, right?
My whole family in North Carolina was snowed in.
But how much? Like North Carolina, 2 inches is snowed in.
No, I think they got
like over 20 inches or something.
yeah.
Like
In
that.
North Carolina? In not in the mountains. Like in Raleigh, Durham, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Everywhere got like
But
this.
not only
I
that,
didn't
but it
get
was like
any of that.
super icy. Like,
Well, yeah,
it
that
was
always
like the
happened.
black ice.
Yeah.
So they couldn't drive.
Yeah,
anywhere.
well, all you guys.
It wasn't nearly as bad as it was like in DC or New York.
Because
but-
New York got like 5 feet, didn't they?
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
was
they
something
did get a lot.
ridiculous. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So if you guys are listening out there,
Shout out if you're
hope
snowed
you're
in.
warm. Yeah,
I hope
shout
you
out.
have heated toilet seats.
I know.
You
Or
probably don't, but if you do,
if you do, you're very
Sit on
lucky.
it. I hope you're watching this while you
them,
sit on it.
Just like Chloe, how she was writing in her bathroom vanity. Like,
writing.
okay, let's talk about that then. So she was saying that they keep adding things and she has to keep going back and reading them and blah blah blah. But then, so that sounded like, okay, you're not writing
So
your
she's like
book,
editing it.
But then I don't know who
reviewing it.
they is. The publisher or the
Yeah.
They came in and saying
ghostwriter,
that
Yeah.
they're changing everything, so she has to keep writing it or changing it. But yeah, so how much of it is hers and how much of it is?
I have her book. I have not read it. You read it.
I haven't read it yet. I want to though. I've like read a lot of it already, just from like covering different stories on it. But so I know like basically everything that's in there, but I still do want to read it. And I think that from what we can see, she's working like relatively closely with the ghostwriter. I mean, by no means is she like a journalism, extraordinaire. But I think that she meticulously like went through and
it
made
sounds
sure,
like it from all the talking she was saying. It was horrible and
but
stressing her out.
They're throwing around writing this book, like really.
I feel like that's understood now in Hollywood, though. Like when a celeb writes a book, everybody knows he didn't write the book.
Yeah.
Remember when Kylie and Kendall wrote their book? They didn't.
Definitely.
Yeah, of course
They
they
didn't
did.
put their
Yeah.
name on that.
They didn't write the book, and people are okay. People who buy that stuff, like you and I, are like, you know what? That's fine because it's still gonna tell their story and their angle, and like you're gonna get something out of it and whatever.
Yeah.
So, and if Chloe is this involved with it, anyways, even though she didn't write it, and she should be called a copy editor, not a writer.
Yeah.
If she's this involved with the story, like the stuff that's going to get in there is going to be stuff that she wants
Right.
about her.
And the other thing about her book, though, is it's also a lot of like recipes and fitness tips and stuff. So a lot of that stuff, she obviously didn't like create. She's using fitness tips that she gets from her trainer or whatever.
Gunner.
And then also, there's like Chris's famous whatever the recipe is or whatever. So it's just like a collection of things as opposed to like
it's like a
ongoing
hodgepodge
story.
of Kardashian stuff.
Yeah. So
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
What a family.
did you guys watch Cocktails with Chloe?
I didn't
but
yet.
I heard about it.
Is it on the internet?
Where
did you? How did you see it?
I watched it on TV.
Where the hell did you find the channel?
FYI.
But what is it? Channel 730?
I don't. It was like.
It's in the normal cable area
Yeah,
channels.
it's in the
Wait,
normal.
whoa. Were you at your like just regular cable?
Yeah.
Like 100 channels and it's in there?
No,
Yeah.
you have like cable.
I have cable. Like I have Time Warner.
Okay, how many channels do you get?
I don't know.
Well, like because I'm saying like is FYI part of the basic
No,
cable
I don't
like
think so.
50,
It
100
might be.
channels? Like when you get
Yes.
ESPN and A&E,
Yes.
like you also get
It
FYI?
says-
Yeah.
Oh.
It's new. Yeah.
Oh.
It's on there. You
Okay.
should get it. Anyway,
should
I
get it,
watched
Bob.
it, and whenever they can learn not to yell over each other, I get that they're working out the kinks or whatever, but at first, like especially, for those of you who did watch it, maybe you know what I'm talking about, but especially in the kitchen scene, they're all just like yelling at each other.
When you say
over each other. I heard guests that she had
Was
on.
it Kendall and Snoop Dogg?
So this was before
week?
Snoop got there. Yes. So she's only had one that's aired so far. On Wednesday. And I thought it was pretty good. Like, and a lot of the clips that we watch online, or they're like, oh my God, Snoop was there, watch the clip or whatever. But it's a lot different. They edit it differently and they include different stuff. So I was glad I watched it, because before I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this because I've already watched like all the clips, but it was very different. And you actually learn like some pretty interesting nuggets, and they talk about, you know, controversial stuff. They talked about like the Oscars, and they talked about like Farrah Abraham.
God, I
and
hate
all
that
stuff.
person.
So
Get off the set. Get off this set right now.
So stupid.
I am so. Get off the set. I'm so team Farrah. It's not even
Really?
funny.
Oh,
yes.
God.
Yes.
Oh God.
We've never had this conversation.
No, but we'll
I
have
had
it
this conversation
afterwards.
at the
have
office.
it
We're talking
later.
about the Kardashians,
We
Bobby.
talk about this at the office like once a week. You got to get in next time. I am so team Farrah. It's not even funny.
No.
And I'm not even
no.
ashamed by that. And you can criticize me, and I don't care. Haters, brush them off.
She's so whatever. Anyways.
Fight me.
I will fight you, Bobby. Anyways, the show is good. I recommend watching it. She'll have different guests every week, and she basically just like boozes them up and tries to get like interesting stuff out about them.
0 being totally unscripted, 100 being totally scripted. Where does it fall in the range?
It is definitely. I don't think it's like scripted. She definitely has her points that she needs to hit and questions ready. They play like drinking games and stuff. So you can't really like.
Yeah, you can't script
So
that.
is it just almost like another late night show?
Yeah.
And she has no studio audience.
But it's. No.
Okay.
I don't think so. But it's not like a late night show because it's not like interview. They're like basically in a house and they go from room to room. It's like a dinner party. It's set up as a dinner party. And you play drinking games and you like obviously drink and talk about stuff you would talk about with your friends that you have over for.
And you
like,
realize things.
Yeah. You realize lots of things. Kendall was pretty awkward on it. Mainly because she can't drink. And like she was like.
Well, she's 21.
She's 20.
I thought she's not 21 yet?
She's 20.
Okay.
It was Kylie who just turned
18.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, anyways, watch it and let me know what you think.
Would recommend 10 out of 10?
I would, if you are watching this podcast, you would absolutely
You're a Kardashian fan,
You would
yeah.
like Cocktails with Chloe. Yeah.
I feel like for them to be successful just broadly on any outside of Kardashian show that they do, and we saw this with Chris's daytime talk show, you have to have good non-Kardashian guests.
Yeah.
They don't need to be huge celebrities. Like, you don't need to
Yeah.
go get Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
But you have to have, like, compelling guests. And if Snoop Dogg, I don't know if he's funny or whatever.
He was really good on it.
Yeah. So if you
and
get if you can get random people like that, because the worst thing that Chris did was like, hey guys, today on the show, Kanye's coming by.
Oh, and then Scott's coming
Exactly.
later.
And it's like
yeah.
Kanye's huge, but he's also connected, so
Yeah.
you're like, eh.
Do you, how far can you reach outside
Yeah.
of this Kardashian box? And I
Right.
think she's doing a good job with that.
Yeah.
She had like Brandy, whatever her name is, Glanville or whatever from Real
Oh.
Housewives. She was there. She had Aisha Taylor was there.
Question
It was
then.
like people who were interesting and have big personalities.
Aisha Tyler's great, yeah.
Yeah.
Question then, is this more of a competitor to like a Watch What Happens Live? Did you get that
Yeah, it's more like that.
feel? Okay.
It's not at all like any
Jimmy
like
Fallon
Jim.
or
No,
something.
no,
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Yeah.
She doesn't do like a stand up and then
Yeah.
like all this stuff. It's basically like her answering the door and she's like, "Oh my God, I wonder who's here.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Who could that be?" And then it's like Kendall.
Hey.
Like, I guess if you have a Kardashian to fall back on, that's great. But, like, they know so many people. It's not that, like, in the entertainment industry, by most people, not all, but by a lot of people, they're thought of well. Like, they're very well connected. They go to all these parties. They host all these damn parties with real celebrities,
Yeah.
like actors and stuff. You know so many people, like, hit on those connections for stuff like this. Because people
Yeah.
are always looking for something to push anyways. There's a movie star out there with a movie out, and their PR people are desperate to get them on, you know, so many different media markets or
Yeah.
whatever. Get them on the show.
And I mean, regardless of whether or not you're watching this Cocktails with Chloe, like when it comes on, everyone's talking about it online
Yeah.
or whatever. Like, oh my God, Snoop Dogg did this, or Snoop Dogg played Farrah, because he did a skit where he played Farrah Abraham on the show.
Wow.
And so him and the other girl that were there, they acted out the Nicki Minaj Farrah Abraham
God.
Twitter feud or whatever. So they acted it out. Wait, you have to actually watch it because Snoop Dogg put a wig on, and then he had like a really random,
weird,
like British accent to play Farrah. He was like, "I do not know what you are talking about."
I was so confused.
Did he think that when she was over there for Big Brother for like 2 weeks that she was like British or something?
I don't think that he knows who she is the thing. So he was just like making it up off the top of his head. It was hilarious.
Poor Farrah.
And then that's why Kylie made a comment about Farrah, and then Farrah went off on, not Kylie, Kendall. And then there was the Kendall Farrah beef loosely.
She was like,
really,
life decision.
Listen, for
really
Farrah,
fast, I want to say she posted a meme with the Kardashian family and then Ray J, right, and said this got you guys famous or whatever, and I was like, how many times have they already heard that? Like,
well, not only that, but
try
Farrah,
to come back harder.
How did you get famous? Like, you can't, The crazy thing with Farrah, not to get off this thing, but she won the Nicki Minaj fight because Nicki Minaj went way over the deep end on stuff that didn't make any sense.
Right.
And it was like, at that point, you should have shut up.
Well,
you just should have shut up. You won.
There's no winning and stuff like that. You're
there's
an idiot.
There's Twitter fight winners. Believe
there's
me.
no winners.
But like at the end of the day, like
at the end of the day, I've never lost a Twitter fight. These are facts. At the end of the day, Farrah has. If she had listened to me, social media expert.
Oh,
sure.
Bobs.
Oh, sure.
Oh, Bobs.
Just saying, you guys. At Bobby DeMuro on Twitter. Hit that follow button. What else we want to talk about today?
They briefly mentioned 2 guys today. They mentioned Rob putting a picture of was it Chloe? Yeah, purple hair. Okay, was there rumors that he's going to be coming back onto the show?
Not yet. No, there are rumors that, the story was Chris was at a benefit, was it last Saturday night?
Yeah.
Right down here on the 405, like off the 405 on the hills down here. And she said that he's going to come back, but not soon, and they don't know when.
Oh, that's very detailed.
Yeah. But like the plan is
sometime in the future.
I guess the angle of the story is where like he's definitely not done. They just don't know when he'll come back. So
it's not a no, but it's not really a yes.
Right.
What if he's coming back?
Listen, as much as they can monetize their lives, like his comeback story is going to be massive because they're going to know how to like wheel the whole thing out. Like I know people were like, could he do Biggest Loser? Like, is he going to do whatever they end up doing? If he decides to go this route, like it's going to be huge.
I feel like he's just going to come back on the show and it's going to be like
normal.
Yeah, not like, well, everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Rob's back. But for them, it's just going to be Rob's back on the show.
Yeah.
What if he gets a spinoff?
I don't think
he would do that. Yeah.
A couple years from now, maybe you never know.
Maybe.
You really never know. The world is his oyster.
Would it be about socks?
No.
I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Keeping your feet warm with Rob Kardashian.
What if he did like a talk show while he was sitting on a warm toilet seat wearing socks?
Wow.
That sounds like a YouTube project.
Almost as interesting as the housewarming storyline today.
So interesting.
Yeah, so the housewarming thing, like...
And Kylie's, like, confessional or whatever, when she's like, so... I think I'm just gonna do me and not listen to Courtney. I was literally like, I don't give a shit what you do with your damn housewarming party. Like, I'd really rather go listen to what happened with the marble slabs. Like,
I wish that they would have done a housewarming party with other people because that would have made that more interesting.
Yeah.
Like a guac fight is
pretty
low.
I
would be pissed if that was happening in my brand new home on my white chairs.
Well, yeah, but
guacamole was flying.
I like did the Home Alone face right now because
but instead she was Snapchatting it. She handled that very maturely.
She was like, "Oh well, I'll just get a new chair anyways."
That was Kylie mad. That's mad Kylie. Then happy Kylie is like, "Hey, this is really great."
You're
like
so cute.
And surprise Kylie. Surprise Kylie is like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." Kylie is the Kardashian Jenner version of French Montana, only you can understand the words she's saying.
Yeah.
But it's the same emotion. By the way, I was at dinner last night. It's an unnamed restaurant because they're not paying us, but it's a place where they cook the food in front of you, so you can probably guess what it is. In Santa Monica, yes ma'am.
McDonald's.
And there was a guy, like I was at a big table. And there was a big group of us, and There was a guy on near the next table over. Like you can't not look at him the way it's set up. And there was a dude there who looked exactly like French Montana.
Did you say?
Oh, God.
And I spent 45 minutes like taking like sneak peeks, and after a while I was
text
like,
us?
well, I was literally gonna put the phone up and just do the low key like thing where you focus in, and then you're just like looking around, you're acting like you're on your phone. I almost did it.
The click sound from the camera.
Worst is when you forget to turn your flash off.
He's like,
he was wearing exactly what French Montana would wear. He had like a big black t-shirt on. A girl, like an attractive woman. He had a big black t-shirt on. He had a ton of jewelry.
How do you know?
Maybe it was his brother.
I gotta be surprised if it was. It didn't end up looking that much like him, but I definitely stared at him for like 45 minutes.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
He probably thought you were.
He's
Anyways, yeah. That not for nothing.
not for nothing.
Yeah.
I just really have to say though, I could not watch the guac and sour cream fight. Like that, I hate when people do things like that and they think they're funny and really you want to kill them. Like when people tickle you.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not funny.
Randy's had a traumatizing experience with this that we're not aware of.
And it's a lot of good guac going to waste.
I know. Like I have chips. Let's eat them.
Yeah.
Guac's going to waste, and bees are dying at an alarming rate globally.
What?
That's a
they
fact.
briefly talked about Scott and how. So he had that whole suicidal call, and then the next day he's drunk at One Oak having a great grand old time. So,
Right.
what do you know? Things don't change, hey?
The more things change, the more they stay the same.
Wow.
Was that like?
devastating.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Who said that?
Me.
That's-
Walt
it's
Whitman.
also
I have
like
no
a
idea.
lyric.
Walt Whitman. No, what I wanted to say earlier was the beginning of the show, Kylie was like trying to Snapchat with Chris, and then she was like, give me a kiss, and then her mom and they kissed on the lips, right? And she's like, ew, blah, blah, blah. But do you remember like a while ago there was a thing about Kylie putting her hands in Kendall's pants or something like that on Snapchat? Do you guys remember
Well, the
this?
other day there was a thing where Kylie dried off her, in a
in the
gas
CVS.
station bathroom or a
was-
CVS
Oh
bathroom.
yeah, she was.
Yeah.
So she spilled something on her lap, so she had her friend pull over, and she was air drying
yeah.
her
Yoo-hoo.
Yahoo Wahoos. I don't know. Anyway,
Hoo-ha. Girl's
With
got to
the
do what
hairdryer.
she's got to do.
Yeah, I
I
don't
wouldn't
blame her.
know.
So I just
wouldn't
thought
know.
it was funny that she was like, "Oh, you kiss me," because
Maybe
she
the-
does crazy things like that all the time.
Maybe that's why she needs those toilets with the
yeah.
spray
I don't
thing.
even want to know. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
Well, that was a fun episode.
it's great.
What else we got for news and gossip with these people? I'm trying to think what everybody's been covering this week. We obviously got Cocktails with Chloe is the big one.
yeah.
It's weird. Like, it's interesting to see the entertainment news cycle just overall, because we're like living in it, literally.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see that some weeks it's like so much of a Kardashian or all the Kardashians to the point where even I'm like, okay, I've had enough. And then some weeks it's radio silence.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm trying to think. I mean, the air drying in the CVS bathroom was like pretty big news.
People were talking about. I don't know if you guys saw Kim tweeting about Kanye's music.
Yeah.
So a lot of people that I follow were saying, "Why is she like? Who are you to be talking about
Right.
Kanye's music?"
Well, because
besides
she-
the fact that she's obviously his wife.
Yeah.
Well,
She's forcing him to do this new music thing. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it so much. She's like literally there, and he's like, "Hey, I'm trying to create masterpieces," and she's like, "No, sweetie, you need to post things." Like I can just see the conversation happening, and he's like, every week he's like calling like Kendrick Lamar, and he's like, "Dude, we got to record something tomorrow, man. Like, are you free?" Like
Yeah.
every week, I love it so much.
so great. Courtney was on Ellen this week, which was
yeah,
pretty
that's
big.
right.
I think it airs tomorrow, actually.
Uh,
But in the interview, she talked about, she looks really good in like this like gold romper jumper situation. Anyways, she talks about Scott, and like basically Ellen's like, so can I ask you about that? Like, do you want to talk about it? She was like, yeah, well, of course he's always going to be in our lives. He's family. He always will be. He's the father of my kids, blah, blah. But she said that they aren't together, which, I mean,
good.
so.
I think I really hope this time Courtney can pull through.
Yeah.
Sounds like the first good decision made by somebody wearing a romper in 30 years.
Wow, Bob's rompers are
wow.
really cute.
I have a just like a rule against rompers.
I love
I like rompers too. I can't wear them right now, but I like rompers.
You would wear rompers because you're short. You're too tall.
No, they look better on tall people.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like only short people wear them.
No.
Either way, me and rompers, I'm sorry. Like I wore a couple one time and it was bad.
Bobby, have you ever seen me in a romper?
No, I haven't.
Sterling's like a model. She's so tall.
Well, the second Sterling wears a romper, I'll feel differently about him.
Right.
But until then,
I think so.
I have an ideological anti-romper stance.
Anti or
Interesting.
anti?
Same thing. Anti.
Data or data?
Data.
Good. Okay.
Data, yeah.
We're bottoming out right now.
Tomato or tomato?
All right, let's do
Potato or potato?
and spell it. Let's do a couple. Let's do a couple predictions. Oh, one more thing about Chloe and canceling stuff. Chloe and overbooking.
Right.
Before we get there, and I know we're kind of.
I've never asked you to do this before, Chris.
Yes, you have. Maybe not explicitly saying cancel, but remember when Chloe went to Australia for the Kardashian kids thing that she had no part of, and the whole time, what'd she do? She
Complained.
bitched about how she was doing this thing and she
her
was
sisters
overworked.
didn't have to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Well, she always does kind of get the shitty end of the stick. So
well, when you don't have a family, like I'm not saying that in a mean way. It's just like you're the available one. The other ones have kids, like or are always pregnant. Like, what are you
my
gonna do?
thing is like, listen, you're part of this family. Just roll with it. Like, do the work.
Roll with
you
the
know what I
homies.
mean? Yeah.
And get to a point.
She didn't
I mean,
have to do anything to get how famous she is.
Exactly. It was
You know what
Kim.
I mean? It just happened.
It started on Kim.
Yes.
Exactly.
So
And it's like.
hold up your end of the bargain.
And you got
Not that I
famous.
don't love her, but,
Exactly.
like,
You got famous. You had a very nice life. You got famous very quick. You have a great work ethic. Like
she
show
like
it off.
was
Do it.
already famous. She was just famous because of who she is.
And it
So it's like, do a little work.
And it's easy for us to say who have not, we've not made millions of dollars here. Close, but not millions.
Just like barely on the cusp.
We're there. But like, if you're making a lot of money, like, I feel like you would want to grind it out as hard as you could for whatever, 10 years or 15 years or whatever.
Retire, move to
Exactly.
Cabo.
And then move and then start being really, really selective with what you do. And Chloe, like all of them, are in that maximized period right now.
Yeah.
And 5 years from now, when the American public is kind of like, okay, we're not as obsessed as we were, then you saved up enough money, like then you can then that's the victory lap.
I see. I agree, but then I don't agree because when you are overworked and you're going from one thing to another, you get burned out,
Yeah.
and then you're not
that
gonna.
makes sense.
If you're putting stuff out, you want it to be 100%.
right. Especially a
It's-
book.
Especially a book you're writing. But my
She's
thing
not
is,
going to win a Pulitzer, though.
that doesn't matter. But you know how people say, I'll sleep when I'm dead or whatever. Or it's nighttime and they're like, you guys are sleeping, but I'm up working, right? My thing is like, no, you need sleep.
Well, no, I'm with that. I'm not saying that.
You
I
need
just mean
sleep.
I mean on the longer play, like the longer play of the span of your career in your life, whatever you do in any business, except for several recession-proof jobs, like being a nurse or something. Anything you do in your business, you are gonna need to work your butt off from like 25 to 40, because when you hit 35 or 40 or 45, when you have kids and when you have a family, you're not going to be able to do that stuff.
Yeah.
You're going to have to slow down because of responsibility, and you're going to have to slow down because you're just not young anymore. So when you're like Chloe's age right now, especially at the money that she can make doing this, it's like you almost have to, I mean, I'm not saying this to be heartless, but like you want to work like 350 days a year,
right?
Really maximize that. And then in 2 years, if your agents and stuff and Momager or Chris comes to you and says, hey, we don't get the same amount of money for your appearances that we used to 2 years ago or whatever, you can say, hey, that's cool. I have a shitload of money saved up.
seriously.
Now I can enjoy it. Now I can hang out. Like that's the path, because your career in Hollywood, even more than any normal career, is so short and small. You want to maximize it then and then disappear.
Yeah.
Makes
sense.
I don't know.
Every time I like make a face, I think of that stupid Donald Trump gif where he's like, you know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
It makes a funny face.
You have more hair than him, though.
I do.
Well, I mean, unconfirmed. Rumors are you have more hair than him. Any predictions?
Anyways,
Any predictions you guys want to knock out? Maybe about Chloe, maybe about Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
well, didn't it say that in the next, so Scott's going to rehab in the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Or, so if this is in July?
Yeah.
Because I know he goes again, like right around Lamar's overdose.
He definitely
in
went
October.
one time in the summer, though.
Yeah, he
But it was
did.
brief.
Right.
Yeah.
So this must be that one that
Yeah.
they're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Which obviously didn't work because he has to go back again in October. Now that we know.
Okay, here's a good prediction for you guys.
Okay.
Who will be future guests on Clocktails?
On
Cocktails.
Clocktails.
On Clocktails with Chloe. Who's going to be a future guest? Besides, you can't name a Kardashian
So
Jenner.
at the end of the episode, they were talking about like all the Oscars stuff, the Oscars So White stuff. She was talking about how she wanted like all of the people who got snubbed or whatever on her show. So she was like, yeah, let's get Michael B. Jordan in here. Like,
Sterling would love that.
Oh man,
too.
I'll be tuning in for sure.
I love too how Chloe, like I got to see this clip if it was really as out of touch as it sounds like what you're saying. But Chloe, like this serious issue of like race in America and the highest entertainment awards in the land, and Chloe is like, well, we'll make up for it by having him on my show.
Let's get him in here. Let's like get him on set.
I mean, if she brings them in, that's great.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm all for it.
But Snoop actually brought that up. He was talking to Aisha Tyler about it. And he was like, as an African-American woman in the industry, how do you think? And Kendall and Chloe are just kind of like, yeah, what do you think about it? They like didn't really chime in until the...
I think, on that same note, because he mentioned something about Oscar So White this weekend, but I don't know that they would talk about it with him. But I think a really feasible guest pair for them would be Chrissy Teigen and John Legend.
Yeah.
Tegan?
Yeah.
Is it Tegan?
Teigen.
Or Tigan?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's Tegan. Okay.
It's Tegan.
that's fine.
I'm calling her Teigen.
But yes, I think that would be very realistic.
They've double
Yes.
dated with Kanye and Kim before.
Yes.
Like,
I love them.
and Chrissy's like, she does lip sync battle. Like, she's cool enough to
I
like.
would totally think that would be a realistic pair.
Yeah.
They would mesh very well, like Chloe's personality and them all together on a show. That'd be a good one.
Couldn't have
good
alcohol.
episode.
I mean, she'll
But-
definitely have
Yeah,
like
she can.
Malika and all of those
But see, like that's to me, it's like don't bring Malika on the don't. If Jonathan Chabon comes on this damn show,
He probably will.
Bobby, then you definitely have
Who's
to watch
someone
it.
that's like really like loud personality?
Andy
she probably-
Dick. Andy
Yeah.
Dick should come on this show.
I
They
have
wouldn't
a
know what to do
feeling
with
that-
him.
I have a feeling she'll have like Hello Ross or whatever.
Ross Matthews.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be a good one.
I would tell you who you should come on this show right now is one of or both Chelsea Handler and Heather McDonald.
Yeah.
After that whole like.
Well, she's friends with Chelsea Handler.
Yeah.
So that could be a
and Chris
realistic one.
Chris is good friends with Heather McDonald. Like
Yeah.
like they're Heather
You're talking
McDonald's.
about the
Heather
Heather
whole,
McDonald's
what's her
been on the
face?
Kardashians this
Yeah.
season. She was on an episode like 3 weeks
Yeah,
ago.
and they're friends with Chelsea Handler. So
Yeah.
it's very interesting.
Are you talking about the whole Amy Schumer thing?
No, the one where Heather McDonald was like, I lived in fear of my life when I worked for Chelsea Handler.
Well,
and then
oh, I
Chelsea
missed
was like,
that.
wait, you're a
and then
huge
Chelsea
liar.
was like, well, you were selling stories to the tabloids, and so of course I wasn't gonna like keep you in my friend group.
yeah.
And then she was like, I never
Circle
did that.
small. Bye.
Yeah.
They want to come for
But
the
so
crown.
she didn't fire her from the show, but she like fired her from her personal life. She was like, you can't be my friend, but you can still be my writer.
Showbiz, ain't it the best?
Yeah.
Sounds like drama.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Anything else you guys got?
Nope.
Nope.
Tee.
All right,
Rob's
social
back
media.
on social media.
What's that?
Rob's back posting on Instagram.
Well, yeah, but he always has been on and off.
Yeah, but not since a few months.
Oh.
So now he's posted, several, like of Kanye in a bathtub with donuts.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that one. That was interesting.
Check this
Yeah.
out.
Okay, anyways, you can find me at Sterling Cakes.
Oh, just close this one out.
Go for it, Frankie.
You can find me Twitter, Instagram, XOXOCESCA.
And you can find the Carolina Panthers playing in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
In
2
my
weeks.
stadium.
Oh, Lord.
In my stadium.
Maybe we'll break that down instead of the Kardashians 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
I'm on social media, Twitter at Bobby DeMuro, Instagram at Mr. Bobby DeMuro. This is it this week for us on Kardashians. We'll be back next Sunday. Nick should hopefully be joining us. Hit subscribe. In the meantime, comment, tweet us. Please tweet us. We're on our phones right now. We need help from a professional communicator. We'll see you guys in 7 days. Good night.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.